You see a lot of athletes announce retirement and then don't retire because they have so much love. Have you have you had any times like, maybe I was tripping a bit?
Yeah, I do be having them thoughts.
Yeah.
But it's also too, I want to get myself together.
10, 9, 8, 7, power, 6, 5, power.
I made the decision to train in DC because, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute. So I feel as though this will help me. DC my second home. I've been coming up here since I was 9 years old, even younger. So I'm not really trying to get in his personal business. Probably just show him that, I could do anything, especially in your backyard. Pride. Some people be made for it, some people don't. It's not going to win. You better be ready.
Whatever his future holds, fight fans will be watching. And this next one, it's got all the ingredients for something special.
You gotta pick one.
I don't have to pick one.
He doesn't, Ryan, doesn't he gotta pick one?
I said the same thing. I'm not commenting on it.
Okay, why? Do you think it's a circus or do you respect it as a
credit? I'm interested in the Tank Jake Paul exhibition because I know for a fact that if they do it for real, just like Jake Paul probably capable of knocking him out because he's so much bigger.
So you believe that?
I believe that.
No doubt about it.
Without a question, if they fight for real. If they don't, if they say, no, well, we're going to take care of Jake, just want him to go through and learn more, then he might not knock him out, you understand me? But if they do it for real, Tank is highly capable of taking Jake.
Boxing veteran. Sean Porter has criticized the upcoming Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul fight, saying it makes no sense from a boxing point of view. He noted the huge size gap, Paul being naturally much bigger, while Davis dominates in the lightweight division through skill and speed. Porter believes this matchup does little for Tank's legacy and reflects how hype and money are starting to outweigh real competition in the sport.
A lot of ways it doesn't make sense to me. Of course, we know the size differential and the kind of list goes on from there. I don't know, man. I think we're entering a generation now or a phase now where fighters, I don't know if it's fighters, I don't know if he doesn't care about the legacy or if he feels like this fight doesn't matter. I'll get back to the legacy. I just don't know. This is truly it's not a legacy fight, but of course it is a generational money fight,
Jones Jr. has dismissed the idea of a Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight, saying real exhibitions should feel balanced and competitive. He argued that with Paul's clear size advantage, this matchup lacks genuine intensity and realism, making it more spectacle than sport.
The Tank's credit. I'm interested in the Tank Jake Paul exhibition because I know for a fact that if they do it for real, Tank is capable, although he's small, he's capable of knocking Jake Paul out, just like Jake Paul probably capable of knocking him out because he's so much bigger.
So you believe that?
I believe that.
No doubt about it.
Without a question, if they fight for real. If they don't, if they say, no, well, we're going to take care of Jake, just want him to go through and learn more, then he might not knock him out, you understand me? But if they do it for real, Tank is highly capable of taking Jake.
Max Kellerman didn't hold back on the upcoming Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight, calling it more of a show than a true boxing contest. He argued that the matchup feels built for headlines, not competition, given the size gap and celebrity angle. Still, Kellerman admitted Jake Paul knows how to sell fights. His ability to draw massive attention, even from skeptics, is undeniable.
You gotta pick one.
I don't have to pick one.
He doesn't, Ryan, doesn't he gotta pick one?
I said the same thing. I'm not commenting on it.
Okay, why? Do you think it's a circus or do you respect it as a good fight?
Jake Paul is very good at creating events that whatever you want, well, the reason you get mad is because you're being manipulated.
Oh.
Because you know when the time comes, you're going to have to watch it.
Right.
He's like a genius at that. He makes events that you have to watch.
Right.
Even if you don't want to. So this.
Eddie Hearn admitted his main focus is still on Shakur Stevenson's path, but he also noted how the boxing world has shifted since the announcement of Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Hearn said that any plans involving Tank and Shakur are effectively on hold until this major crossover fight happens, highlighting just how much influence Jake Paul now carries within the sport.
I will have to come up with something for Shakur Stevenson. If I don't, that may be the end. It's got to work for me as well as Shakur. Maybe I haven't got anything for him, maybe he hasn't got anything for me, but right now I know what we agreed with His Excellency, and that's what we'll do for now, and then see where we go.
You said you wanted to make that Tank fight, so hopefully we can see that in the future, Eddie.
Jake Paul, isn't he? So he's got, I don't know whether he'll fight, what's the rematch?
Lamont Roach.
I don't know if he'll still fight Lamont Roach. I know he's fighting Jake Paul in November, and then maybe
Terence Crawford didn't hold back when asked about the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. He said the matchup feels unrealistic because of the huge size gap between them. According to Crawford, even a single clean shot from Jake could be enough to trouble Tank, given Paul's height, reach, and power advantages. He added that Davis would have a hard time closing the distance to land his own punches, making the fight more mismatched than competition in his eyes.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank.
KSI didn't mince words when asked about the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. He said he doesn't care, and believes most fans don't either. To him, it's just empty hype, more spectacle than sport. His reaction sums up how many fans feel. Tired of crossover events and wanting real boxing matchups instead of celebrity-driven showcases.
Gervonta Davis.
Oh, I don't care. I don't think anyone cares, man. No one cares. No one cares.
Dana White shared his honest take while speaking with Logan Paul, saying he doesn't dislike Jake but believes both Paul brothers should fight people their own size. He pointed out that Jake already had a big advantage against Floyd Mayweather and said that's exactly why a Jake Paul versus Conor McGregor matchup would never happen. The size gap makes it unfair from the start.
Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your the same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a bomb and you ate it. He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis. Who do you got? Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than Floyd, but he's too small. Your brother's gonna be able to get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you guys wouldn't let me fight Conor?
Yeah, you're fucking huge. Conor weighs 145 pounds, 155 pounds.
Yeah, but he says he could.
Mayweather dismissed the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis matchup, calling the size gap ridiculous. He noted that Jake walks around well over 200 pounds, while Tank fights closer to 150, a difference too wide for a real contest. Still, Jeff admitted that as an exhibition, it works because of star power. Fans won't watch for fairness, he said. They'll watch because both names sell.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank. And I mean, but with it being exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting. But I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
Nate Diaz brushed off the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight, saying it makes no sense since Tank's too small to compete. He called it more show than sport, a circus that fans will still watch for the drama. Diaz even compared it to WWE, arguing boxing's becoming more about spectacle than skill, though he admitted at least it keeps people talking.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be Jake Paul.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think
he's just too small.
It's just I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the
I
fight?
don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing is turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but the whole thing's at WWE. So
Right.
it's like, at least that's happening and getting something to talk about, something to watch. And I'm looking forward to that.
Chael Sonnen didn't hold back, calling the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis matchup a mismatch built for attention, not competition. He argued that Tank struggles to sell fights even in his own division, so putting him against a much bigger opponent makes little sense. Sonnen said the Paul brothers keep targeting smaller names instead of fighters their own size. Proof, he claimed, that spectacle is being prioritized over real boxing skill.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pound. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a...
Michael Bisping didn't mince words when discussing the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. He highlighted that Jake recently weighed around 227 pounds for his bout with Mike Tyson, nearly 100 pounds heavier than Davis. Bisping called the matchup absurd, saying no serious combat sport would allow such a massive weight gap. In his view, it's less of a contest and more of a case of a bigger man picking on someone smaller, all dressed up as an exhibition.
It is, if I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference, almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. That is called one thing. That's called being a bull.
Mike Perry also shared his take, stressing that the size gap is the real problem. He noted that Jake Paul is naturally bigger and stronger than Gervonta Davis, and while Tank's boxing talent is undeniable, Perry questioned whether Davis still has the same hunger and drive to overcome such a massive disadvantage. In his eyes, stepping in with someone nearly 100 pounds heavier isn't a test of skill. It's an unfair task that takes away from what boxing should represent.